Welcome to the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the WC podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, my friend, my partner in this work that we do, the director of Nevada's Department of Employment, Training, and Rehabilitation, Chris Sewell. Chris, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're glad. We've been talking about this for a while, but of course, we are very busy. I know you're even busier because you have a whole state to look after. Milt and I look after our own regions here, Southern Nevada, Northern Nevada, but you and your team have to think about the whole state. So thanks for flying down here and giving us the opportunity to dialogue with you a little bit.
Great.
Chris, before we get started with our format and our podcast, usually we start by having you share a little bit about where you come from, but I wanted to take the opportunity to thank you on the record. I know you've heard me say it before, but we had to grow our system over the years because in Nevada, our population continues to grow, and because unemployment has remained high, our funds have continued to increase from the federal government, and that's because the services we provide are much needed here in our state. And so that meant the folks in the American Job Centers, they needed more room. We hired more people, and so over there in the Comprehensive Center, which we were next door to, they needed more space, and it was only logical that they would grow into the spaces that Workforce Connections used to occupy. So that meant that we as a board staff got displaced. And today you're here in our brand new offices at Civic Center, Las Vegas. And again, I wanted to thank you because you stepped in and helped us fund that American Job Center expansion so that we could provide services in the best way. So what do you think about our new offices?
I think the offices are great. I think it has a lot of forward thinking, not only where they're located and within the City Hall area of Las Vegas, and also with the Vegas Chamber. And I think that is really forward thinking, and I think it's going to serve not only the businesses, but the people looking for jobs.
Yep.
And I think this is a great location, and it's a beautiful office.
Great. Thank you, Chris. And then again, after we're finished recording this episode, we'll go downstairs to the Vegas Chamber, say hi to Mary Beth. She wants to say hi. And you're going to see, again, what used to be the only Chamber of Commerce in the nation that hosted an American Job Center called the EmployNV Business Hub. Some of your staff is there, along with staff from us. And but now there's 5 other cities that are replicating our model. And that says a lot that now Nevada is leading the way in these innovations and these ideas. So let's get started. And what we like to say first, share with our audience is, tell us where you were born, Chris, where you grew up, went to school. Take us all the way until after your graduation from high school, perhaps to your first job.
Okay. I was actually born in Northern Nevada in Reno, a very long time ago, before internet and Wi-Fi and all of those cell phones and things of that nature. And I have the gray hair to prove it. And I pretty much grew up in the Reno area. Went to high school at Bishop Manogue High School, which is the northern high school from Gorman, Bishop Gorman, Southern Nevada, and Bishop Manogue, Northern Nevada. And even back then, Bishop Gorman always beat us in football. So, and then after that, I went to Menlo College down in the Bay Area and graduated with a business degree from Menlo College. Came back, and that's where I guess I had a business degree and ended up going into law enforcement.
Wow.
So worked in law enforcement for different agencies for almost 18 years.
Wow.
And then after that, there was a few years in between there where I ran my own company for about 3 years and started off great, and by 2.5, 3 years, I was probably making 25 cents an hour. And so I said, I think it's time to get out of that. And then went back into law enforcement for a little while and did that, and that's an interesting job, and I decided I needed to get out.
When did you get to DETR?
Actually, I Got to DETR through moving down to Las Vegas.
Wow.
And what happened was I ended up moving to Las Vegas after a divorce, and I needed to just get away and reset. And I did, and I worked for the Division of Insurance and the real estate division.
Okay.
And that's when I got a call from then director Don Soderberg, and he goes, I have an opening in my field audit unit. And I said, that's great because my parents are sick and I need to move back to Northern Nevada.
Oh.
And that's what happened. And then I ended up becoming assistant to the director and then a deputy director, and I didn't look back.
Yeah.
Now I'm director.
And now you're director. That's awesome. And we, we've seen you in that journey. And as you know, we value very much the partnership that we've created, we've built with you and your team. From, just launching, for example, a statewide brand called EmployNV, and how we called our American Job Centers EmployNV hubs, how we've built ones that are specific for employers, some specific for youth, and how we've decided years ago to really be a team and co-locate our people and make sure that our teams are working together. Obviously, of course, there's always, because we work for different organizations, there's rules that we have to always follow and models that we have to comply with. But I think how far we've moved the needle here in Nevada and improving our service delivery is because we've trusted each other and we've committed to this partnership. And you always articulate that verbally and with your actions as well. And we couldn't be more appreciative of that.
Well, and I think this partnership and the EmployNV branding, as you said, it's started a few years ago, and I think where it is now compared to where it started is, I think, beyond a lot of our wildest dreams. And we have a comprehensive centers in Las Vegas. We have comprehensive centers in the Reno Sparks area, and we have employee hubs in small towns in Nevada, in Elko and Winnemucca and Ely. And that has just helped so much on helping the businesses and helping the job seekers in this state. And prior to me being director, it was a little more fractured. And I have to give you and Workforce Connections kudos, because when it was fractured, you really took the bull by the horns and you created something here, and it shows. And then when we figured, let's get into a partnership and with Nevada Works and really expand that. And it's worked great. But I have to give you a lot of credit, because it was fractured. It wasn't going well, and you grabbed the bull by the horns and you filled that void for the businesses in Las Vegas and Clark County, and that started it because of your organization. And once Nevada Works and DETR really saw that, I think we all said, it's time to really, when we come together. But I have to commend you for filling that void for a long time.
Again, we don't do it alone. We did it with you and Nevada Works. I appreciate your words, because now, in just 2 months, in March, something that had always happened in Washington, D.C., the National Association of Workforce Boards convening, where the nation comes together to exchange best practices and to get updates from DOL. It's not going to happen in Washington, D.C. It's going to happen here in Nevada. We can't wait to have you be a part of that, be on the stage with us, sharing again with our peers from across the nation how important it is for the state to lead the way and work with the local boards, again, as partners, as friends, instead of this fractured model that exists in too many places.
Right. And I think that's shows where we have come. And I think their tagline on their website is, "We're rolling the dice and we're coming to Vegas." And that's great. First time in history.
Yep.
And I think what they're going to be able to see is the connections that we have and all of the programs that we've worked with our partners, whether it's reentry programs for people that are coming out of incarceration, or for business programs on making sure that their employees have the right training, incumbent worker training, and for the job seeker, and making sure that we get the job seeker into a really good job that's fulfilling, that's a career, and to make sure that they also have that training. And I think what nationally what they're going to see is all of that. And it's a great system that we've built here in Nevada.
Yep.
And I really am looking forward to showcasing it.
Yeah, we are too. So Chris, tell us a little bit more now about your role as director of DETR. I know that there's many departments, not just vocational rehabilitations, unemployment insurance, on and on. Tell us how you manage on your day-to-day to oversee such a large organization.
First off, I have a great team. We are put together an excellent team. Not only do we have team members that are used to be chief financial officers or attorneys, or they went through and grew up in DETR. It's a great team, and I emphasize that. Whether I have to do a DETR-wide email or, I always emphasize Team DETR, because we are a team. And when you do that, and when you have the people that are the experts in their certain field, whether it's testifying before the legislature or testifying in front of a group of individuals, they're the experts. It's not just me, it's them doing the day in and day out work, and it's a team effort. And I think that's probably the biggest change in DETR. DETR, as you mentioned, covers, of course, workforce, but we also do unemployment insurance. We have our vocational rehabilitation. We have our blind business programs. We have the Nevada Equal Rights Commission under DETR, the Commission on Post-Secondary Education, and our research and analysis unit division that creates and publicizes the monthly unemployment rate, and they do a lot of extra things and around what's the best occupation, highest occupation, all the way to how many types of businesses we have in a certain zip code.
All the labor market information.
All the labor market information. Yep. And we have a lot of things going on. And so my day is never routine. It is, there's always going to be something new, or we need to look at something again. And that's what actually I love. I love my job. I love going to work. And it's fun. It's fulfilling.
Great.
I've started off in public service as a law enforcement officer, and I've been lucky enough to continue it, not only helping people when they lose a job through no fault of their own and they need some assistance, to not only helping that individual during that dark time, but maybe getting them into a training program, maybe sending them down to your folks at Workforce Connection saying, hey, we just found out about this. We have this program that we're working with the College of Southern Nevada, and we think you would really fit well there. That's the absolute joy of being in this position.
Yeah, well, we're lucky to have you. Tell us, you talked a little bit about the labor market, and your folks there are led by Dave and his team. what major trends do you see in our labor market? I know we're still in our region and perhaps even the nation, there's more job openings or demand, if you will, for workers than there seems to be workers willing and available and skilled to match up with those jobs. So there's a skills gap. There is population problems as well because we have a aging population, the baby boomer generation that will be retired in just a few years, completely retired, and nowhere near the amount of young people coming up to fill that gap. So what are your thoughts on the major trends that we see in the labor market?
Well, I think specifically for Nevada, over the last 20, 30 years, maybe even a little longer, has changed. It's no longer just casinos. We have manufacturing. We have businesses coming in here that are technology businesses.
Yep. Like Haas Automation here in Henderson.
Haas Automation. You have the Tesla Gigafactory up in northern Nevada. And then you have businesses that are growing around those businesses. Yep. And for example, Redwood Materials, which is a battery lithium recycling company that has expanded up in northern Nevada. And I would really, really hope there's other companies coming into Nevada and southern Nevada that are also going to be doing the recycling. Yep. Because I think it can happen in both ends of the state.
The lithium loop.
The lithium loop, and I was just about ready to say that. Because that is important. You know, you hear a lot of things going on nationally, you know, in the last months about electric vehicles. Well, the lithium loop is not just electric vehicles. It's batteries for long-term storage. It's batteries that power companies are using, businesses are using, so that they can take the renewable energy and store it. And that's part of the lithium loop that's probably even in a way bigger than just the vehicles. And it's not going to go away. It's going to get bigger. Yeah. And we need that lithium loop, and we need those training programs for the individuals within that career path. Another area that I think needs to be addressed is we have a lot of technology companies coming in, and it doesn't take a 4-year degree. Yep. Sometimes it doesn't even take a 2-year degree. Yep. It takes, the official term, I think, is a micro-credential. Mm-hmm. I really don't like that term because I think micro is a negative type of connotation to it, but it's a credential. And there are a lot of credentials that EmployNV, Workforce Connections can get people into, and they're stackable. And so that if they're in a job where, you know, they really need a change, they can go get a credential and get into a company and keep getting more credentials. Yep. And stack those credentials and move up in the company. And so we have a lot of the technology companies coming here. AI is expanding so that we're having a lot of technology companies that also require a lot of power. So, you know, power generation and keeping the lights on, that's also involved in, we need to grow it. And we have solar fields. I think MGM just announced that they're
100% now, right?
100% solar power during the day. Yeah. And they're also battery storage, and that's going to help them power it in the evening. Yeah. They'll have to supplement it, but that's a huge jump. And that's where we're headed. And so we have to make sure that our workforce is ready for that jump. Are we still going to need some of the jobs that maybe people aren't going to want? Yeah, that's, you know, I read an article last week that in the states with high unemployment and lots of job openings, it's almost, well, those are really right now what the jobs are. And sometimes you might have to get into that job to get a better job. And especially for the younger generation. When I graduated, as I said, I had a business degree. I went into law enforcement. Mm-hmm. That was totally opposite, but I enjoyed it. My idea actually was I wanted to get into the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, but it just took so long to get into that program. I decided, well, I'm just going to go to work for the sheriff's office, and I loved it. And I never went back to the federal program. Things like that happen. You might end up in a job and that you really thought you were going to love. And you know what? Once you're doing it for a while, you're going, this really wasn't what I thought about. That's why we're here. Let's see if we can get you into a different career that you really want to try out again, because it's going to happen. I never thought I'd be working at the time for the Public Utilities Commission. I ended up working for the Public Utilities Commission and then ultimately DETR. But again, I started off as a business major in law enforcement and then public service. People are going to have to do that. Yeah. Don't be afraid to change a job. If you don't like it, don't be afraid to ask for help, because that's why we're here. We can help you with a lot of things. We can pay for a lot of things. We can pay for that extra schooling. We can pay for those extra certificated programs to lift you up, because lifting you up lifts your family up and lifts the community up. The latest unemployment numbers and actual workforce numbers that just came out through Dave's shop, it was interesting that hospitality industry is still growing. And we actually thought after the pandemic it was going to die. It was never going to come back. It's come back, and it's still growing. The latest numbers show that there's a big growth rate there. So Las Vegas is continuing to grow in the hospitality industry, but they're also continuing to expand into technologies and companies that are working through logistics. And we're seeing that, and that's not going to stop growing in Clark County. So I think it's a great opportunity for Clark County. We're going to continue the hospitality. I mean, Vegas is Vegas. Yep. It is the entertainment and now sports capital of the world. But Vegas also is now logistics, technology, manufacturing. A lot of people don't realize the double-decker buses that you see in Las Vegas, they're built here in Las Vegas.
North Las Vegas, yeah.
North Las Vegas. That's amazing. They're hand-built buses, but they're built here. And their line is always running. And it was really, really interesting to see how they build those buses. But that's done here. That's manufacturing. And Vegas continues to expand in that. And I think that is just a wonderful thing.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Chris. So, Chris, we talked a lot about our partnership between our organizations, Workforce Connections, Nevada Works, DETR. How would you describe that partnership?
Absolutely great. There's a lot of things that the two local boards do for their specific regions that help the state overall. But the partnership is great because we have individuals here, DETR employees, but as Workforce Connections, you're out talking to the businesses, you're out talking to the leadership of the cities and the counties, and you really are the boots on the ground, where I'm looking at a state as a whole, and sometimes I don't have the ability to really get down into the weeds, where you can do that through your contacts, and Milt can do that through his contacts. And it really fills that gap. So what we have going on now is great. It's a partnership. It's, expanding the funding opportunities to help you guys grow and do what you need to do. And that helps everyone.
Yeah, I think so too, as we said before. And I'll give you an example. Yesterday, one of your employees, Frankie Mason, who oversees business services and is located over there at the beautiful Sahara West Library location, some of our team over there at the Aliante location, which we cut the ribbon, I think, almost 2 years ago now. Right. But they've organized an event that is going to draw members of our congressional delegation, Congresswoman Titus, Senators Rosen, and it's happening again in those spaces. We're located in a library. Who would have known? And they love that. The delegation, every time they come and visit us, they appreciate the fact that we've brought our services closer to the neighborhoods, closer to where the need is. Why do you think we've been, or why is that so important, what we do to serve job seekers and small businesses alike?
The economy runs on small business, really. We have our huge corporations here, but the day in and day out, small business really drives the economy. The mom and pop, they may only have 5-10 employees, but they really drive the economy. And that's twofold. They're creating that business. They're creating that service. And they're hiring people. And that expands that business with more employees. And having that and having the ability to help that small business is great. Because a lot of small businesses don't even know what we can help them with. I've said sometimes we're the worst or the best kept secret around, but in a way it's true, because I encourage all the businesses, seek us out. Come down to Workforce Connections, come down to a business hub, come down and talk to us about what type of training that we can help you with for your employees. And for the job seekers, the same thing. If you're working for a business and they're looking for a specific type of background, seek us out, because we can help you help that business. And the same goes around, we can help the business that helps you. Yep. And I think that's what's perfect.
And that's happening, Chris, because a couple of examples of what you just said with additional funding are, for example, DETR helped fund both in Northern Nevada and Southern Nevada industry sector partnerships. The boards are driving. There's 4 of them in Northern Nevada, 7 of them down here for our target industry growth sectors here. And that, as you said, didn't happen before when we were fractured. And now they're running perfectly with hundreds of employers involved. But again, DETR set aside additional funding on top of what is allocated to us by the federal government. You and your team helped fund those initiatives that help do what you just said, help employers build a talent pipeline. The other one was incumbent worker training, where we went into employers who are saying, I'm implementing new technologies in my business. I need to upskill my people. Well, we were there to help, and the businesses are thrilled that we are doing new and innovative things with them. So those are great examples of how we help employers, again, due to this partnership. Let me ask you, if we've talked about innovations and changes in the labor market, is there something that you're super excited about? Like a lot of people are excited about AI. Is there something that you're super excited about the future that's coming in the labor market workforce?
I would probably say the technology aspect of, and whether it's AI or
robotics,
automation.
Yeah.
Automation. again, you don't need a 4-year degree to do those things. Get one of the certificates. Get a stackable credential, because that's where we're headed. Robotics, automation, Tesla, that's what they do. Yep. It's all robotics. Building those battery packs and building I think they even build transmissions up in outside of Reno. But it's all done with robotics. And there's courses that our partners have, NSHE and things of that nature, that it doesn't take that 4-year degree, it doesn't take that 2-year degree, it takes that credential, and they'll get you into that. And one of the things that I hope some of these larger companies start really doing is, if we can get you into a high school, and then that young, innovative individual that's going to graduate from high school, get him into a credential that this is the credential that my company needs, and get them into that credential, and then they have a worker ready to go after they graduate. Yeah. And I think that's youth. I've said this a few times. Youth is 25% of the population, but 100% of our future. Yeah. And it's so true. And I think if businesses really look at getting into the high schools and saying, hey, get this credential, come work for me. That's that pipeline. And we can keep expanding that pipeline. That's what we really need to concentrate on. I'm not saying forget about all the boomers like me, but youth is 100% of our future. Yep. And it can really move the needle.
And it's happening, Chris. Again, thanks to the funding for these projects, that's exactly what's happening. We are bringing these hundreds of employers. As you know, Joan Eber, the superintendent of the Clark County School District, used to be the state superintendent of schools, right, is on our board, and she's facilitating that interaction between having the demand of the market, the employers dictate what the product that we're going to produce, including the school district, because that's the earliest piece of the talent development pipeline, the K through 12 system. So that's happening now, where we are connecting employers with the training partners through NSHE and also the secondary partners, Clark County School District here in the South. Let's shift gears a little bit, because we've painted a professional picture of Chris Sewell to our audience, but we'd like them also to know a little bit about your personal life. When you're not working, when you work a lot of hours, or you're not volunteering your services, how do you recharge your batteries? What do you enjoy that fills your cup and again, gives you the energy you need the next day or the next week to continue to do this work?
Well, I have a lovely, lovely wife, and she keeps me grounded. We do a lot of home improvement. Oh. I love the demolition part of it. I'm not very good at the detailed finish work. That's where she can come in. Great. But we do a lot of things around the house and upgrades and things of that nature.
You're a big Home Depot customer.
I'm a huge Home Depot customer. And the other thing I have a 1942. It's called a GPW. Oh. And what people may not know what GPW is, but that's an old World War II Jeep, wow. Willys Jeep. Back in World War II, when they started mass producing those, they had two companies mass producing them. One was Willys Overland. The other one was Ford, and GPW was the Ford version. So I have a 42 GPW, and my son and I work on that. And we actually, it's been running. It's been in a parade or two. Wow. We are actually just pulling the engine because I have to replace the rear main seal. But that's another thing that sort of I decompress with that. And I have a great time working with my son over it. And it would be both boys, but my oldest boy's living in Denver. running a machine shop. So, no, that's the other aspect of how I sort of decompress.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. Since you mentioned your young adults, your children are now young adults, I often think about the 18-year-old version of myself and how all the wisdom and knowledge that I've gained with these white hairs, how it would save that young kid so much pain, if I could pass it on, if I could talk to him and say, hey, look at all this stuff, avoid this. Now, half of me says that knucklehead wouldn't listen anyway, but if you could, we might have a young listener who's 18 and thinking about entering, the workforce that maybe relates to you because maybe they have a business degree. Maybe they want to go into law enforcement. Maybe one day they want to be a public servant and lead a state agency like you, be on the governor's cabinet. What advice would you give an 18-year-old that helped you succeed, that maybe, these are the couple of things that you really got to focus on to make sure that you have a successful journey?
Most likely focus on education. And I'm not talking about, the going in and doing your English paper. That's important to get your degree, but your post-secondary education, whether it's a credential, whether it's if you want to be an engineer and take that 4-year degree on, that's great. But continue your education. Education is so important. Don't be afraid to start a job and try it. If you don't like it, again, we can help you change that career. But don't be afraid, because you might get into a job that, this really wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid to change jobs. Don't think you're stuck in that for 30 years, because take the stretch and say, you know what, I need to find something else. Don't be afraid to do that. It's okay. Don't be afraid to fail, because a lot of people fail. I think the old saying out there is Thomas Edison, when he invented the light bulb, he invented 10,000 that didn't work,
right,
until the one that worked. Don't be afraid to fail, because you're going to learn from it. When I decided to go start my own business, it didn't work out. I learned from it, but don't be afraid to do that. Also, don't be afraid to expand and change. And continue seeking the mentorship. If you find someone that is really out there that is giving you, listening to you, giving you good advice, pushing you, don't shut that out. Keep that going. And I know we have career counselors at Workforce Connections and at DETR through the EmployNV system. They can be that mentor for you. Let us help.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Don't be afraid to change a job. Don't be afraid to fail, because you will succeed. I never thought I would be the director of DETR and on the governor of Nevada's cabinet.
Yeah.
But I made it. I got there. I love it, and I'll continue this job as long as the governor will have me. But it took a lot of trial and error through that 30-year time frame. But talk to people. If you have a mentor, keep that relationship strong. Don't be afraid to fail. And education. Continue with education even when you're working. That incumbent worker training will help you. If you have a class that you really think it would help your business for your employer, come down and talk to us. Maybe we can help you out with that.
Well said. Chris, I want to thank you for doing the podcast with us today. I know we've been wanting to do it for a while. Our schedules are crazy. I still owe you a Peruvian lunch here in Las Vegas, so whenever you have time, let's do that. Again, couldn't be more happy to spend time with you. Appreciate the partnership, and I look forward to the next few weeks. We're going to start planning how we're going to showcase our partnership to the nation in March.
Yes, I think the March showcase is going to be wonderful, and I think I know the governor is planning on attending.
Yep.
And I think we're going to be able to show the other 49 states and a couple of territories how we've grown.
Yep.
And how we tried things and sometimes it didn't work, even as a business. And we'll showcase that. And I think a lot of the states are going to be going, wow, Nevada is way ahead of everyone else.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you again for being here today.
Thank you for letting me be here.
Well, that's it for another episode of the WC Podcast. Thank you for our team behind the cameras who make this happen. And we hope to see you at a future one. Until then, stay safe. Chris, thank you for staying over to do our bonus segment called Against the Wall. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I'm going to start with a segment called Your Favorites. I'm going to give you a category. You're going to give me your favorite thing in that category. Let's start with something easy. Your favorite food.
Pizza.
Your favorite beverage with dinner.
Red wine.
Your favorite dessert after dinner.
I don't eat dessert.
All right. Favorite way to start your day.
Cup of coffee.
Your favorite way to unwind after a long day.
Glass of red wine.
Favorite hobby or weekend activity.
Working on my old car.
Favorite vacation spot.
Hawaii.
Favorite holiday.
Valentine's Day.
Favorite car you've ever owned.
GMC pickup.
Favorite college sports team.
My wife would say Nebraska, but I'm going to say UNR.
All right. Favorite professional sports team.
49ers.
Favorite Las Vegas sports team.
Knights.
Very good. You made it through your favorites. The next segment gets a little tougher, so we called it Tough Choices. Are you ready?
Sure.
I'm going to give you two choices. Hopefully you can pick one. If you can't, that's okay. You can always pick both. Vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
When you go on a vacation, stay in a hotel or Airbnb?
Hotel.
When you retire one day, will it be in the city or out in the ranch?
Ranch.
If you had a day by yourself, would you rather spend it by the ocean or hiking in the mountains?
Ocean.
Would you rather have more time or more money?
Time.
The ability to fly or breathe underwater?
Fly.
The ability to speak with animals or speak any foreign language?
Any foreign language.
And here's where it gets really tough. You have to choose one. Truth or kindness?
Truth.
Actions or words?
Actions.
Justice or grace?
Justice.
Well, you made it through tough choices, Chris. Your last segment is called Finish the Sentence. I'm going to give you 90% of the sentence. You're going to finish it for me. Chris, if you could visit any place in the world, it would be?
Washington, D.C.
The best part about living in Nevada is?
Wide open spaces.
Your favorite thing about your job as director of DETR is?
The people.
And if you could travel back in time to any time you would travel to?
Signing of the Constitution.
That's a good one. 3 words that describe you, Chris, are?
Workaholic. Family. Workaholic.
All right, very good. Doing the WC podcast here with us today was?
Great.